Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a very important concept here, the order of operations, okay? And that's a concept that takes you from the basic mathematics, arithmetics, all the way to the highest one, calculus, and all of those kinds of concepts. So once you get it right, all the time, you'll be fine, okay? So let's go for it. So BODMAS, PEMDAS. So if you are living in Europe, Africa, Asia, a lot of places in Asia, you hear BODMAS. And when you are in the US, you hear PEMDAS, okay? But it's just the same thing. So those are the rules that, the order of operations follow. So BODMAS, what does that mean? So we have brackets for B of, for the O, order of powers or roots. So that means if you're dealing with powers, which is the same thing as exponents, okay, and then roots, like square root, cube root, fourth root, third root. So it's just, all of those beautiful roots, okay? Then division, D, multiplication, which is M, addition, A, subtraction, which is S. All right? So that's what BODMAS means. Now, PEMDAS rules, same thing. Again, they are just the same. Parentheses for P, exponents for E, multiplication for M, division for D, addition for A, and subtraction for S. All right? That's it. Now, there is an exception of the rule. Please, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention now. The exception of the rule is what? If you're dealing with division and multiplication, whichever comes first, from the left to the right as you're doing your operation, from the left to the right, whichever comes first, that's the one that you operate first. Meaning, if you have division before multiplication, you do the division first. Or if you have the multiplication before the division, you do the multiplication first. Now, the same thing will happen between addition and subtraction. Whichever also happens first from the left to the right, that's the one that you use. Meaning, addition happens first, that's the one that you're going to use, or subtraction comes first, that's the one that you do first. So that's the exception of the rule. All right? So now let's take these two examples and see what we're talking about, okay? So A here, 6 parentheses, that means times 3 minus 5 plus 7. So following the order here, we have parentheses. So that means we got to go inside the parentheses and work inside the parentheses first. Meaning we have 3 minus 5 that we have as an operation inside. We got to work on that. And 3 minus 5 is going to give us what? The 3 is a positive number and the 5 is a negative number, okay? The sign of those numbers are in front of them. So because both carry different signs, what do? We subtract and keep the sign of the highest number. Meaning we have 3 take away from 5, that will give us what, 2? Okay? And then we carry the sign of the highest number. Because 5 is the highest number here, we carry the negative sign. So this is what we have, and then 6 is back. And then plus 7 is back also, because we have not used them. Are we good so far? Then we got to continue. So we're working from the left to the right. Remember that. We're working from the left to the right. So now what else do we have? We have 6 times negative 2. Following order of operations, which one do we have to do first then? Multiplication. So we got to multiply before we add. So 6 times negative 2 is going to give us what? Negative 12. And then we bring down the 7, positive 7. Okay? Now, negative 12 plus 7. What's going to happen here? Again, the two numbers carry different signs. 12 is a negative number. 7 is a positive number. Automatically, what do? We subtract without even thinking twice. So 7 take away from 12 is going to give us what? It's going to give us 5. And then you carry the sign of the highest number, which is negative 5. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not understood order of operation before, this is the time. The time to understand it once and for all. All right? So let's go for it. So B now. So B, we have 14 divided by -7 minus 5 times -3. So what's happening? So because we're following order of operations, we're working from the left to the right. Remember that? We're working from the left to the right. So following it, either one of the two, BODMAS or PEMDAS, doesn't matter. 14 divided by -7. Can we do that first? Yes. Or do we have to do this one also? We don't need to do this one. Now, we'll learn later on that we could have done also this one, we could have done this one. Also, they are separate, but forget about that. So let's go from the left to the right, working from the left to the right. So we have to divide these two numbers. So 14 divided by 7, we know is equals to 2. And a positive number, which is 14 divided by a negative number, is always what? A negative number. So it's going to give us what? -2. All right? Then we bring down -5 times -3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, never forget we're going from the left to the right. We have -2 and -5 here. Somebody could have thought about combining these two together. If you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you are wrong. Why? Because we're following the order of operations. And then it says what? Because we have multiplication here. Don't forget, we got to do multiplication before thinking about adding or subtracting. So that means we come in here. So -5 times -3, because this number here, the number always carries the sign right in front of it. So this is a negative number. Negative times negative is always what? A positive number. So 5 times 3 is what? 15. So you end up with +15. Are you guys okay with me? Yes. All right, then you just bring down the -2 because you have not used it. So you got to bring it down, right? And then we end up with a -2 plus 15. -2 plus 15, what's happening here again? One is negative, the other one is positive. Automatically do what? You subtract. So that means you're doing 15 minus 2, which is what? 13. You carry the sign of the highest number, which is positive, so you end up with +13. Or somebody could have seen it as 15 minus 2, which is 13, and then you're done. All right? So thank you, guys. You should get it now, right?